Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive in. Today, we're exploring the idea of excursions. Yeah,
Excursions.
like those little trips or detours we take sometimes.
Oh, right, like a vacation or side trip.
Exactly. But we're going a bit deeper today, looking at how these excursions, especially the unplanned ones, can really shake things up and change our whole perspective on things.
That's interesting. I think we all have those moments where life takes an unexpected turn.
Totally. And our source material this week is a personal reflection on just that. Like, how do we deal with those detours? The times when we're thrown off our planned course. It gets us thinking, right? Have you ever had one of those experiences where an unexpected detour actually changed the way you see the world?
Let me think. Well, the source actually talks about how naturally we tend to fear the unknown, right? Detours can be scary because, well, we lose control. We don't know what might happen.
It's true. That fear of the unknown is so real. We like our routines, our comfort zones.
But the source also makes this really cool point about how when we're stuck in a rut, sometimes a detour, even if it's unexpected, can be like a breath of fresh air. It can give us a whole new perspective.
So it's like, even though detours can be unsettling, they might be exactly what we need to shake things up and help us grow.
Yeah, I like that. It's not about just blindly leaping into the unknown, though. The source emphasizes that weighing the pros and cons, even when faced with an unexpected detour, is still super important. It's about being thoughtful, not reckless.
That makes sense. It's about finding that balance,
Yeah.
right? Being open to new possibilities, but also considering the potential risks. So speaking of detours, the source actually shares a personal story about taking a job in, get this, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Now, I don't know about you, but Wisconsin wasn't exactly on my travel bucket list.
No, not really on mine either. The source describes it as a real fish out of water experience, actually.
Totally.
Yeah.
They even admitted to barely knowing where Wisconsin was on a map. So I got to know, what was it like to just be kind of thrown into this completely unfamiliar place?
Well, according to the source, it was a mix of emotions. There was definitely fear, like, what am I getting myself into? But also this underlying excitement, like, what if this is actually what I need?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's that whole idea of stepping outside your comfort zone, right?
Yeah,
Which can be scary, but also super exhilarating.
exactly. And, in this case, the detour was kind of a way to escape a negative cycle, to shake things up and see what else was out there.
And I think a lot of people can relate to that,
Yeah.
that feeling of needing a change, wanting something different.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is how this detour, which was initially driven by this need to escape, actually led to some really meaningful connections.
Really?
Yeah, the author talks about how the people they met in Wisconsin were incredibly welcoming and supportive, and it ended up being a really positive experience, one that they still cherish.
Wow, that's cool. It's like sometimes when we step outside our comfort zone, we open ourselves up to these unexpected and amazing encounters.
For sure. It kind of reminds me of the saying, strangers are just friends you haven't met yet.
I love that. It reminds me of this one time I was hiking in Scotland, totally lost, way off the trail. I was starting to freak out a little. And then I came across this tiny cottage. This older couple lived there, and they took me in, gave me food and a warm place to stay. We sat by the fire, and they told me all these stories about the area. It was one of the most memorable experiences I've ever had.
Isn't that amazing how sometimes the most unexpected situations can lead to the most genuine human connection? It shows that even when things are chaotic or uncertain, there's always potential for kindness and connection.
Absolutely. But the source does touch on a kind of bittersweet aspect to this whole experience. While the memories are still vivid, communication with the people from Wisconsin has faded over time.
Yeah. It makes you think about the nature of relationships, right? Some connections, even those that have a profound impact on us, are fleeting.
And maybe, in a way, that makes them even more special, like these precious moments frozen in time.
Yeah, I get that. It's a reminder that even brief encounters can leave a lasting mark on who we are. And it's not always about maintaining constant communication. Sometimes it's the memory that shapes us.
So bringing it all back, it seems like the takeaway here isn't necessarily about packing your bags and heading to Wisconsin. Though, hey, if that's your thing, go for it.
Right.
But it's more about being open to the unexpected detours in our own lives and recognizing the potential for growth they hold.
Exactly. It's about looking back at our own journeys and asking ourselves what seemingly insignificant detour might actually hold more meaning than we realize. Like what hidden gems of personal growth are buried in those moments where life took an unexpected turn. It's something to think about, for sure.
Lots to ponder. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive. We'll catch you in the next one.
See you then.